If anyone thinks the war is about to end, don't listen to them. Sweet promises from politicians. The war will never end, but your lifetime will be enough for everyone. And the war will go on for a long time, slowly, boringly, disgustingly, vilely. War is what brings money and power. When people leave bond, when authorities loosen their grip as a result of some concessions, the war will be something that stays with you until 2038 or even until 2045. It is long, it will be drawn out. Everyone will benefit from this. Absolutely everyone. War is a rigged game. Accordingly, build your life with the understanding that at any moment you could lose everything you have. That's why you need to manage your life and make the right choices in time. Don't count on the glitter that will never return, but rely on the reality that has already come to your doorstep, even if you prefer not to see it. Reality. That's what awaits you, and it won't bring any comfort to your thoughts. Everyone complains about the lack of money, but no one complains about the lack of intelligence. Here's a wonderful comment I received today. Elvira Kartavenkova writes, I'm over 80 and only recently have I started to see things clearly. Thanks to the smart ones, she wrote this under my video as a comment. I remember my father's words, that with time you will understand a lot. Thank you. You know, strangely enough, as time goes by, you understand more. Why is that? We don't pay attention when we're young and full of energy, but only when we get old. A hymn, right? It's only then that we start to see things clearly. Why do young people brush off information? Because young people want to be led, they want to be like everyone else. Young people want to move with the herd and look up to the shepherd. The shepherd cracks his whip at the herd and the sheep all run in one direction. Here comes the shepherd's dog attacking the herd. The herd runs in the other direction. And in both Moscow and St. Petersburg, there's great joy, just immense joy. And why is there joy? You can't even imagine the reason why Muscovites and women from St. Petersburg are so happy. Yes, people from St. Petersburg. No, it's the women from St. Petersburg. So this year at least, and that's the minimum, but at most, at least another 40,000 citizens of India may come to the country. Do you understand what that means? What is the war that has taken place on the territory of Russia and Ukraine? All the men are gone. Basically, there are 0 left in the country. So who is supposed to be with the women? To cherish them, caress them, help around the house? Well, certainly not the Indians. Indians definitely won't help with the housework. But they can do their monkey business. But what do women really need? That's exactly what they need. And that's exactly what they talk about at the employment bureaus in Delhi. They recruit in Delhi, they recruit dark-skinned Indians to serve Moscow and St. Petersburg women. So mainly Indian citizens find jobs in Moscow and St. Petersburg. And where is the biggest shortage? That is, in the regions, like all migrants, men, they don't hire women. Did you want your apartment cleaned, Indians? No way. They live by the principle, it's good to live in the East, and they live for 5 hours. So from 19 to 43 years old, men, and none of them, by the way, know Russian language, because it's all poverty. These are people who hang around dirty streets. Yes, dirty wells. No, there are no wells there. Dirty ones. Dirty like the Ganges, where both the dead and the living bathe, wash, and the dead float down the river. Where else would they go? Well, they do bury them in the ground. They throw them into the river. And where will your relative float off to? They have no idea. It's just a different culture. They don't know what plumbing is. They don't know what sewage is. They don't know anything at all. So people explain things to them with gestures and stories. That's what Marina Tiabina, the head of the comprehensive cleaning department at Kolomyajskaya, says, where 17 Indians work. How does she manage with them? The company made it into the media after journalists found an Indian worker there who had worked at IT companies on the level of Microsoft and had experience with artificial intelligence and chatbots. But much more often, Indians end up working in warehouses, construction, cleaning, and garment manufacturing. I doubt, of course, that they know how to do it. They can't do either one or the other. They can't do the 10th or the 25th. It's such an interesting situation when we get people into the country and have no idea who they are. There's a replacement of Russia's population going on. But how do you change it? But if husbands were at home, would they let an Indian appear in their apartment? Tell me. But there are no husbands. All of them? They were sent on meat assaults. They fertilized the soil there. They became needed by the motherland as fertilizer in the ground. That's why they stayed there. And now as for, home, family, everyday life, their daughters will be dating Indians. There are no men. Because statistically, for every 10 girls, you can't even find a single guy. You couldn't find one even in broad daylight with a lantern. Well, what else can I tell you? Something very interesting happened in Grozny, but we don't know about it because, as always, nothing is known. Adam Kadyrov, the one who was awarded, he has, maybe 150 medals and honors, the very favorite son of Kadyrov. Suddenly, he gets into a terrible car accident, a traffic collision on the road in Grozny, along with his entire entourage. Many of the cars were completely wrecked, and he disappeared. He was not declared dead, nor said to have died as a result of the accident. Supposedly he was sent to Moscow, but in Moscow there was no news at all, not a word. So I don't know to what extent Moscow actually accepted young Kadyrov for treatment. I think it's quite possible that he simply died. He really did crash. He crashed, and that's how it happened. Now tell me, when someone so young, just 18 years old, is being groomed for the throne? In Chechnya, right? That means he is supposed to replace Ramzan Kadyrov. And Ramzan Kadyrov is Putin's #1 friend. Tell me, does he have a lot of enemies? I think he has a lot. I think he has a great many. So then, was the car accident an accident or was it staged? Did he die or not? Most likely he died. So that means someone really wanted him dead. Who? Well, there are already rumors and talk going around that supposedly it was Ramzan. Well, his kidneys are bad, and you need kidneys that won't be rejected, so it has to be someone close. And it has to be male, since Ramzan is a man, so the donor should be male too, right? So how then? And the blood, the genetics, everything has to match, and even the age. Well, you can't take it from an infant, right? Their kidneys aren't fully developed. Well, these are strange conversations, wouldn't you agree? I am also shocked by this conversation. What do you think, friends? I'm Tanya Karatsuba Siriburkan, and today we are on the eve of the Epiphany holiday on January 18th, 2026.